The time has finally come. I have quit my day-to-day job to do YouTube videos full time. It's pretty crazy that I've actually got to this point. I'm excited, a little bit nervous and anxious, but I'm keen to give it a crack and see how it all goes. We'll do a quick recap of where it started. I started making YouTube videos about 3.5 years now. It was my first ever videos. I bought a $15 tripod from Officeworks and filmed my first trip of Wales to Sundown National Park in Moreton Island up in Queensland. Just a very basic video with music and some footage over the top, but that was that little bit that kick-started me to do it. I've been wanting to make videos for a while after just years watching people on YouTube, and then when I got into four-wheel driving and camping, I hopped onto YouTube to watch tips, tricks, places to go and learn all about four-wheel driving. Ronnie Dahl and Stefan Fischer were the first couple of people I remember watching, and then I sort of picked up others as I went. I just wanted to give it a crack myself. I wanted to be able to document our trips and travels, the memories we made along the way and the things we did. After I made that first video, I quickly realized I was going to have to do talking in videos, which absolutely terrified me because I was an extremely awkward person on camera and just did not want to do it, but the desire to make videos and have a crack at YouTube overcame that, and I slowly built up my confidence on camera and my ability. I never actually owned a camera in my life, a proper camera. I knew nothing about filming, editing, anything. It was all just a completely new experience for me. I had no skills in the area, but I've slowly learnt and improved my skills along the way. I always think it's crazy, it's interesting how someone like me who had no skills in the area, sort of nothing whatsoever, but just a desire to give it a crack, YouTube gives people like me a platform to do that. And if you're willing to do it, put in the work, put in the effort, have the passion, then you can build something out of it. Because if it wasn't for a platform like YouTube where you can start from nothing and go who knows where, you can just keep going, and it's very different to obviously what originally was the movie industry and the TV industry, where it's quite hard to get in there. So I always think it's just weird how someone like me who never would have did something like this was able to make a start and make a bit of a growth in the film world, or whatever you want to call it, on YouTube. I'm super proud of what I've achieved and all the videos and content I've been able to put together. I feel like the videos I make now, are quite decent quality compared to back when I first started. If you watch some of those earlier videos, you can see I've come a long way. I started filming on a $15 tripod with my phone, and now I've got a full proper camera setup and, producing decent quality stuff. For the first probably 2.5 years, I was just doing the odd video here and there. I'd try and get out as many as I can, but sometimes I'd go a month without a video, or a few weeks, then I'd go maybe a couple of months where I was doing a video a week. And for the last 12 months, it was about this time last year, February, I made the decision, right, I'm gonna get out a video every single week. For the last 12 months, I've done a minimum one video every week, and then the odd week I've done an extra one as well. So I've sort of done 4 to 6 videos a month for the last year now, and that's really helped my channel grow. I think that's been super important with the consistency of the uploads, and obviously improving my skills and videography and editing and everything along the way, and how I present videos. But just that consistency in getting that content out, and then here we are a year later where I've made the decision that I'm at the point where I can go full time. I finished uni, let me think, maybe about 7-8 years ago now. I went to Sydney University for 4 years, where I did where I did school teaching at uni. I did PDHPE teaching. And then for the last 7 years, I've been a casual school teacher, mostly at the one school. I've done the odd bit here and there. At first, I was just happy to do the casual teaching. I was really enjoying that. And then a few years in, it got to the point where I was thinking, I probably have to look towards stepping it up from the casual to a full-time job. But that was around the time when I was starting to get a bit more of an interest in YouTube, a bit of growth, I had a couple thousand subscribers or whatever. So it was kind of, if I go to the full-time school teaching, it's really not going to leave too much time for this YouTube. So I kept it at casual and hoped that I could build this YouTube. And that's what I've done. I've slowly cut back the casual school teaching as the YouTubes come up more and more. So up till the end of last year, I was still doing up to 3 days a week casual school teaching. If I was doing full-time school teaching, there's just no way I'd be able to do it. But that allowed me to basically get all this video content out as well as run the social medias and the business side and everything, because it comes a lot of work. Where I am now with this, for me, it's about 50 hours work. It's about 50 hours of work between getting a video out every single week, sometimes 2 videos a week, which I'm trying to do more and more, especially now that I've dropped away from my job. I'll hopefully be able to. Running the social media side of it, so I've got the Instagram, I've got the Facebook, I've got the Patreon, and then you've also got all the YouTube comments and everything else as well. So sort of running between all the comments, replying to people, talking to people, uploading photos, all that takes up time. The filming of the videos, depending on the video, you know, a video like this is only a couple of hours to film, an hour or 2, but with our trip videos it may be a full day or 2 filming. And then once again, depending on the video, you know, you can be looking up to 20 hours to edit, you know, say the 30-minute trip video. So it just becomes more and more time consuming. The more content you put out, and obviously the better you get at doing it, you want to produce better work, which takes up you more time, and just the more it grows. So it's just built up where I love doing it, I really enjoy doing it, but it's just a lot of work and time as well. And it's got to the point for me now where it's just too much trying to fit a normal job in on top of my 50 hours a week YouTube, well, you know, that whole content YouTube side of things, plus then trying to be a dad to Kai, you know, plus be a partner, a friend, you know, family things, plus my own time, personal life. It's just get to the point where it's just way too much. I just don't stop. You're going to work and then you're coming home, and instead of spending time with Kyle doing those various things, like I'm just spending all my time editing and working through the social media side of things and replying, you know, emails and businesses, and now I've got the merchandise up and running as well, running the website, packaging, all that. So it's got to the point where, do I cut back on the YouTube side of things, sort of reduce this, you know, that way I can take a bit of a breather and, you know, just keep on with the school teaching and regular life? Or do I stop the school teaching and then put the time and effort and energy into this, structure it so that I can get the content out, run all my jobs I need to do along with it, and then still have my personal life as well? And for me, I love doing this. Obviously it's a lot of work, but I love it. I really enjoy doing it, and so I've made a decision that I want to keep going with this. Now, I know people are going to say, do you really want to turn what you love doing into a job and a business? And it's a little bit of a tricky one, because I really love doing this and I want to put the time and effort and energy into it. But then, yeah, I do understand where those people are coming from as well. But I think if I take a step back from my regular job, this will give me the time I need to get all the things done with this and still enjoy doing it, and also know that, you know, I'm paying my bills by doing this as well, rather than going to school doing the school teaching. And I think that's where it's important for me to keep doing it how I want to do it, keep doing it in the way that I love doing it, putting out the content I want to put out and what makes me happy. And then I think I'll continue to love to do it, and hopefully people will continue to enjoy the content I produce as well. You always try and find that balance between giving people sort of what they want, but then just doing what I want as well, and hopefully people like it in return, because that's why I started this, because I love making these videos and love putting out the content, and hopefully people liked it in return, and that's what I'm just going to keep doing. It's still going to be the same me with the same videos doing the same thing. It'll just give me that little bit of extra time to do it, and I can get my personal life back too, and spend the afternoons and nights with friends, family, with Kai, and have that little bit of time off that I'd sort of taken away to the point where I was just basically doing everything non-stop, going like an absolute maniac. Now, I'm not getting a massive amount of money from this at the moment. I'm sort of getting enough where I can survive and pay my bills and do what I need to do, but it is enough, and then I'm just taking that little bit of risk where hopefully it will build up from here. Now, I've said to school and haven't said see you later, talk to you never again. They're really good, because I've been with them for 7 years now doing casual school teaching. So I said we'll give it a few months, say give it whatever, 5-6 months, and then we'll reassess the end of those 6 months. And if I need to go back to a little bit of school teaching, then I can. So I've got that option to fall back on, which obviously gives me that bit of security. There's 3 main ways I'm making money from this. I got the YouTube ad revenue. My channel at the moment is getting about 300,000 views a month, which is really good. So, you know, getting a little bit of money off that. Then I got the Patreon as well, where people support what I do and give me a couple of bucks per video or $5 per video, whatever they're comfortable doing. I'm getting a little bit of money from that as well. And now getting a little bit of sponsorship money as well. So basically combine those three and I've got enough to pay my bills and live my life, and then put the time and effort I need into this passion of mine and what I love doing. So yeah, that's where we are. It's pretty crazy. I was nervous to make the call to tell school, hey, I'm actually gonna be not coming back for a while. I'm gonna make YouTube videos instead and see how that goes. It's funny now because when people ask me now, what do you do for work? You say, oh, I make YouTube videos. I used to say, oh, I was school teaching and make a few videos on the side. So it's interesting telling people you just make videos for full-time work now. And obviously all the other little bits and pieces I run as well. Massive thanks to everyone that has supported this channel, people that have been there from the start, that have watched these videos, supported what I do, words of encouragement, and you know, sharing my videos around, you know, leaving even little things like leave a like, leave a comment, helps get my videos out. People that support me on Patreon, that's made a world of difference. Without those people on Patreon, I wouldn't be able to get to this point and do this. As I said, it's a combination of that sponsorship, the Patreon, and the ad revenue. And just thanks to everyone who follows along what I do and enjoy what I do, and hopefully I can keep putting out the content that I like doing and people enjoy in return as well. I think the biggest thing is variety. I know the bigger variety I have of content, the more it helps me grow. Trip videos are where this started, and that's what I love doing, but the review videos and talking about various things, like, you know, a couple I've done on the train canopy, they're commonly the ones that gets the most views. My most ever viewed video on this channel is the walkthrough we did of Kaido's Hilux. The second most one is from the Wadigans in the Jimny, because those Jimnys are quite popular. Then I don't know, I've got a few various bits and pieces, but I just try and put out all different content as much as I can. If you don't like a particular video, you just don't watch that one. You know, that's fair enough. I know people aren't going to be interested in every video I put out. A couple of important things I've learned along the way, which I think I've already touched on, is I started this because I love doing it. I never had any set goals or I want to do this because I want to make money, I want to get big on YouTube or anything like that. I did it because I was passionate about it and because I love doing it. And I've had that will to just keep putting out content and keep making videos. And then the last couple of points that I think really helped me grow on YouTube were titles and thumbnails, putting out sort of catchy, clickbaity thumbnails and titles, which sometimes upsets people, but that's all right. I think that's one of the biggest things that helps me grow. That's what really helps someone grow on YouTube, is those titles and thumbnails. Super important, and that consistency of uploads. So I think they're two things that in the end took me a while, but in the end I started getting, and that's what's really helped me grow. I'm certainly a small channel. I don't know what, I don't know what I'm at now. I think 27,000 or something, which is still a small channel, and it's kind of crazy that I can do it full time now, because I know there's a lot of people out there, bigger channels, that still sort of don't have that opportunity yet, so I'm super thankful for that. Now, you would have seen in some of the recent videos, I do have shirts now. I've got shirts that got a logo on the front and on the back, and I've got hoodies that are the same as well. I got stickers. We're going to have a few more designs coming. We just got some basic ones to start with. So we do have the merchandise now if you want to grab yourself a hoodie or a shirt, and as I said, keep an eye out. We'll have plenty more styles coming in the future, so if you want to support the channel there and grab yourself something. And then we actually had a little bit of a mistake with the first batch, which is this one I'm wearing now. I don't know what exactly happened, but when I got them, I noticed there was a square outline on them where they'd been printed on. I thought it'd go away after a couple of washes, and it didn't. So I emailed him, he said, look, something's probably gone wrong with the pre-treatment of them. These are actually really good quality shirts. These are AS premium quality. They're high quality gear, but just saying it's slightly gone wrong in that batch of shirts. It didn't work out too bad in the end, because I was able to give him the new design. So we got the new design done with the train canopy on, sent them through. So he's basically replaced this batch with a new batch, which I'll have. This video come out Sunday. I'll be actually in the new batch tomorrow on Monday from this video, which will be the same as this, but with the updated picture on them. Now, if you do want to order a shirt or hoodie before midnight Monday, then you'll just do your normal order as is. These are the designs that are on the website. Now what will happen is you'll get this one as a freebie because they've got the slight fading on them, which after a few washes you can hardly see, but it is still there, but it's still a perfectly good shirt. You just have to give it a few washes to get that little bit of fading out where they're printed on. And then I'll give you the new design as well. So basically a 2-for-1 at the moment, just until midnight, Monday, the 8th of February. So if you want to support the channel, grab yourself a shirt or hoodie. Whatever you order, I'll double it. But we are limited. We don't have heaps left. But I'm going to be getting heaps more stuff in soon. So if you miss out on this time, just keep an eye out and there'll be more stuff coming. That's been a whole another big learning process, which took a lot of work. But got there in the end of starting up a website and getting together designs and with companies and merchandise and getting it all to me, and I'm doing it all myself, so all the packaging, and it's all being sent from my house. Just got big boxes in my house that I'm packaging it all from. It's crazy. I'm learning so much as I go, and this is one of the other things. I'm running this sort of as a business now, so I've got my ABN, running it all through tax, you know, trying to work, opening up new bank accounts, doing it all under tax, you know, trying to do the video, the business, the content, the social media, the emails, the merchandise, everything else. And that's why I've had to take a step back from my job. Just got so many things coming at me from all different angles, but I'm hoping now I'll be able to structure it a bit better and sort of calm it down, because it's just going a bit chaotic at the moment. Calm it all down and get a set routine going. That's my big news. Hopefully you enjoyed my little story and how I got to this point. Next Sunday we'll have the next big series dropping, which was the one we did in January, a 12-day trip where we went out. We're going to go to Victorian High Country, but the border got closed 2 days before we're going to go. Hopefully get back down there at Easter if the borders are open, but you know, it's just a wait and see these days of COVID. You just don't know what's going to happen. That trip away we did in January though was out the back of Lithgow, through Turon, down through Orange, and then out to the south coast, all different places. It ended up being an amazing trip. It was unbelievable. We didn't miss the high country at all by the time we did all those things. So many new places we explored. That series will start next Sunday, and I'm still editing, but I think it'll be about a 5-part series. I'll drop the trailer for that now just to break up this video a bit so you know what's coming, and then we're going to finish this video up with a Q&A and a couple other topics to talk about. This is insane. I just can't believe this. I hopped out of the car because he thought we were going to roll it. So that's just put a call the radio for help. Lost a moment of concentration and he's gone down over the edge of the bank. Have you ever heard of Gunshot Creek car? They're basically that the door. Can't believe this track we've stumbled across out here. Before we get into the Q&A, I've got an interesting topic. The locker for Dad's MUX. This is a comment I've been hammered with for a couple of years now. When is your dad getting an MUX for his locker? People have been very keen to see him get one. Some people have been upset by the fact he hasn't had one. Some people think it's ridiculous he doesn't have one. They are quite expensive. And I think he's showed us that you can get to all these amazing places without a locker. You may just need the odd extra winch here and there, but he's still out there doing what he loves doing and enjoying all these places. I would have loved to have get him one through a sponsorship so he didn't have to pay for it himself, just because they are so expensive. Lockers do seem to be a little bit hard to get through sponsorship though. I made a deal with him because he needs new tyres as well. New tyres about maybe $1,300 for a set of 4 good muddies for his car. And a locker's quite a bit more than that depending on the brand. I made a deal with him. I said, if I get you sponsorship tyres, then will you buy a locker? And he said, yep, okay, deal. So I went on the hunt to see if I could get him a set of tyres as a sponsorship, and obviously in return for some advertising for that company. Now we have had a company come through, a little bit of back and forth and then some delays with COVID stock and everything else, but they're finally meant to be on their way. And I got myself a set as well because I thought, hey, why not? I may as well get a set for myself. I've had the Nittos, nearly about 40,000 Ks on them. They have been really good, but they are getting a decent amount worn now. They're worn. What did I say? Worn. They are under 50%. And I've had some wheel alignment issues in the front. I really need to get my wheel alignments done more often. And I've had them rotate probably 4 times, but they're quite unevenly worn in some spots on the inner sides. We have had that tyre sponsorship come through though, with Falcon, meaning he's going to finally get a locker for the MUX. That's the next thing we're going to organise. We're both going to have a new set of tyres. He's going to get the locker as well. Maybe I'll even try and do a video on that if I can, a bit of an install video if someone will let me do that. I think we're going to go a rear locker. That's a highly debated topic, front versus rear locker. If you want to let me know your thoughts, you can. From what I'm seeing, about 70% are leaning towards rear locker first, 30% front. I personally think a rear is more usable in different situations. I absolutely love my rear. It just keeps those back wheels on that solid axle turning together all the time. It means you don't lose the turning that you have when you put a front locker in. It's super helpful on downhill situations, more helpful than a front locker when going downhill. It keeps those 2 tyres rotating together nice and evenly. And it's on the solid axle in the rear compared to the IFS front, so you're not stressing those IFS front CVs and steering arms and everything. I don't know, I'm not an expert, but I'm sure obviously people are going to disagree with me on this. That's, you know, that's all right. But yeah, I think we're going to go with the rear locker. Now, we didn't want to get an auto locker. We really like the idea of being able to lock the locker in when you want to lock it in and disengage it when you want to disengage it. Seems to be a few different brands out there. The 2 main ones we end up looking at, we really wanted to go a TGM Pro locker, air locker. That's the lockers I've heard the best things about, but they do not make them for the Isuzu MUX or D-Max. Unfortunately, that option is out. That left us with an ARB air locker or a electronic locker, and the brand I forgot. What's the main brand of electronic lockers? I'm gonna have to look this up. Harrop, that's it, Harrop E-Locker. Left us with ARB and Harrop E-Locker. Now, looking about $2.5 grand, which is a lot of money for a single locker installed on either of those brands. Some pros and cons of both. ARB air locker, you get the air, that includes the price of the air compressor too, so it's going to have a mounted air compressor that you'll be able to pump the tyres up with. And the good thing about them is ARB after support, sales support from what I've heard seems to be quite good, and they're all over Australia, so the sales support backup for them everywhere, but you're probably more likely to have an air leak problem with the air locker if you're going to have something at all. Now the E-Locker is probably more reliable and you're not having the issue of the air leaks, but it's still $2.5 grand to get it installed, and you don't get the air compressor with it as well. I haven't heard the best stories about Harrop E-Lockers when it comes to aftermarket, not as aftermarket, when it comes to warranty and support if you do have any problems, which is a big negative in my eyes. And then if he decides to get a second locker, it'll be cheaper with the ARB because you won't have to get the air compressor as well. So if he gets a second Harrop E-Locker, that's another $2.5 grand, whereas the second ARB locker, I think about $1,700. So I don't know, we still haven't worked it out, but we are leaning towards the ARB air locker. I don't think I'll do the Q&A today, I'm running out of time. I'm sure this video is already long enough. One other topic I will cover is getting back to people. Hopefully now, with stepping back from my job, I'll be able to sort of set aside time slots like an hour or two just to get back to everyone with all their questions and information as much as I can. Alright, I think that's about everything from this video. Some exciting news there to share. If you do want to support the channel, just keep watching, enjoying what I do. Leaving a likes and comments on the videos makes a big difference in help getting that video out there. If you let the ads play through, then that helps me with money. If you're skipping the ad, then you're skipping the payment I'm getting as well. So all those little ads that people are watching help me out and help get me the money I need to put towards doing this. If you want to support me on Patreon, you get the extra content, the early access, your questions answered on there. Just give a couple of bucks per video. And if you want to grab yourself a shirt or hoodie on the website, then you can do that too. But I'll see everyone in the next video. The time has finally come. The time has finally come. I have quit my day-to-day job. We'll do a quick recap of awkward monitor because for the first probably 2.5 years I was just doing the odd. I've been at first I really, so that's another